Unfortunately, there is very little content on YouTube about growing channels for companies. Everything is basically for and about creators. We at Humble&Brag are trying to change that. In this video, we're going to talk about how to run YouTube as a performance channel, much as you might run Meta or Google ads or your SEO strategy. Like 90% of our other videos on this channel, the inspiration comes from a very real and very common client question. So stick around for just a few minutes and I'll share the 5 steps we've deployed to develop YouTube into a channel that drives literally millions in annual revenue. And I'll walk you through the model we use to predict the impact of our YouTube channels. And as if that's not enough, we'll show off a few tactics that we've used with clients to double their conversion rates. Hi, I'm Ed, I'm co-founder of Humble&Brag, and let's get started right away with step numero uno, measurement and attribution. Now, you wouldn't hit play on your Google or Meta ads without ensuring you had a robust tracking setup first, or at least I hope you wouldn't. Before you even shoot a video, you need to plan out how you're going to track its performance. And I don't just mean performance in terms of impressions and views and likes and subscriptions. I mean actual revenue, dollars in the bank account. Now, for any channel to be a performance channel, it needs to be measured. YouTube often falls at this very first hurdle because people simply don't know how to track and how to measure it. There's no Meta ad interface where you'd insert your destination URL and the tracking parameters and hit play. It's a bit more complicated. But we've tracked revenue here at Humble&Brag for our clients back to videos for everything from e-commerce to edtech with one simple tactic. So to get started, you'll need 2 things. Firstly, you'll need somewhere to drive your traffic to create a conversion, some kind of lead magnet basically, whether that's a free course, a product, or a call booking with your sales team. Place this in the description under the video and embed some CTAs throughout your content, directing people to the link or links in that description. Make sure your link is tagged with parameters which can be picked up in your CRM or analytics tool, like UTM parameters, for example. And with these parameters, you should be able to identify which video the traffic is coming from, and only this way will you be able to use the data to inform your future content strategy. Step 2 is more attribution. Now, obviously, not everyone who watches your video will click on the link that you ask them to. Perhaps they'll open a new tab and navigate to your site or search on their phone, or any manner of other options. Alongside your automated attribution, set up self-reported attribution. Self-reported attribution is just a fancy way of asking people how they heard about you. We would always recommend having this, as it provides you with rich data about the salient channels that are actually driving and capturing demand. And it often gives much more credit to the less trackable, more brand-building channels. And even better, with the help of ChatGPT, you can now quickly build fancy formulas to group free text entries into meaningful categories. In our experience, you'll only identify about half of your YouTube source traffic through automated attribution. So without self-reported attribution, you basically run the risk of underinvesting in the channel. Step 3, creating and releasing your video. Now, it's kind of funny to create a YouTube video about creating YouTube videos and not really talk about actual video creation, but that's what we're going to do today. We'll have other videos about scripting and the importance of the first 30 seconds and different content formats and so on. But for the purpose of this video, you just need to know that whatever your content, you'll need to prompt people with a CTA to take an action during or after watching your video. Step 4 is building out your funnel. So as soon as the first person clicks on the link in your description, you can start plotting out your funnel in numbers, knitting together the metrics in YouTube analytics with your own funnel metrics. So what might this look like? Well, from YouTube Analytics, you can pull things like impressions, impression to view rate, views, and average watch time. Group those things in together in a spreadsheet, and then you can head over to your analytics platform, whether that's Google Analytics or something else, and grab your visit data and any conversion data you might have. As soon as you have all these metrics, you can calculate things like your view to visit and your visit to lead rate, which are both great indicators of the efficacy of your CTA and your lead magnet and your content. So what does good look like? What's a good view to visit rate? Well, typically view to visit will sit around 3%, but we've seen lower rates with clients when they're pushing a product directly from the video, for example, and significantly higher rates when the CTA drives people to really highly complementary content. For example, if you're teaching people how to automate tasks with AI, you provide a follow-along tutorial with copyable prompts, or if you're demonstrating how to run a brand positioning workshop and you share a plug-and-play Miro board in the description, these things are highly complementary, and basically they make your viewers' life easier, more convenient, better, and with these kinds of tactics, you can boost that view to visit into the double figures. But more on this in another video. Step 5, the final step, building out your reporting. So in the last step, you basically started building out your reporting. But to have actionable reports, that means like numbers that you can use to really start making smart decisions, you need 2 or 3 levels of granularity. What do I mean by that? Well, you want to be able to view funnel performance per video, per content type, and for the whole channel. And with this data, you can determine which videos and which content types are performing best by revenue generated and really double down on those. And at the channel level, you can basically justify further investment. What you'll typically find is definitely not always the videos with the most views which generate the most revenue. Rather, it's those videos that best complement your product and service and basically address your ICP. In the age of AI and data warehouses and data visualization tools like Tableau and Looker, marketers engage ever less with their data. And to be honest, I think you do this at your own peril. If you don't engage with your data, you'll miss a lot of the questions that reveal the big needle-nudging, revenue-boosting answers. I recommend you do the dirty data work yourself to begin with, and that means downloading and joining your data from YouTube Analytics, Google Analytics, and HubSpot, and really creating that full funnel view of YouTube performance. Once you've understood how it all ties together, you can easily communicate this to your in-house data analyst, if you're lucky enough to have one, who can duplicate and automate your processes. And incidentally, if you're using BigQuery as your virtual data warehouse, that's all actually pretty straightforward. Anyway, that's probably too much detail again, and that's definitely another video for another time, which I think is becoming the unofficial slogan of this channel. Now let's jump over to the model I promised you, and let's talk about how we predict the impact of YouTube for clients. So check this out. It might look kind of intimidating at first glance, but it's actually quite simple. Basically, we assume we're going to release one video every week, and that this video is going to garner 450 views in that first week, and then grow to a maximum of a few thousand views a month. Now, obviously, every video will perform differently. Some will pick up views rapidly, others more slowly, some will work fantastically, and some won't really take off. And in this spreadsheet, we're basically just talking averages. Now, if we look up here, we see how the weekly releases of videos causes the views to compound week over week. And by the end of the year, we're hitting 100K views per week with those 52 videos. And that's where you then jump over to the lower funnel metrics, which we actually just take directly from the client's current channels. And here we have an example of a high price point product with some typical life cycle conversion rates, which are obviously easily adjustable. Now, say you invest 20K a month in production. The channel starts off with a really quite negative ROI, but by the end of the year, it's really positive at about 10-1, with the channel driving just over $1 million in revenue over the course of the year. Most importantly though, this is a resilient channel. Even if you switch off production in January, it'll still generate you 200K in revenue, and probably more. And that, valued viewers, is how you create a performance channel out of your YouTube channel. If you'd like a copy of this spreadsheet, let me know in the comments and I'll add it to the description. And if you'd like to scale your company's YouTube channel, get in touch with Humble&Brag today. You'll find our LinkedIn in the description below. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.